guys, I thought I would share with you my most repurchased makeup products today. These are products that I went out and repurchased with my own money, and I'm kind of sticking to things that I have repurchased recently because I could talk about things like the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, which if you've been with me for a really long time, that was definitely a most repurchased product, but back in the day because I don't think it's around anymore. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start with something that I actually wanna apply with you guys because as I'm looking in the mirror, I need some desperately. So my hair is super flyaway. It's just, you know, it's cold and dry here in Vegas and I wash my hair every day, so it's super clean. So it's very, very staticky. I think you can see that. Anyway, what I like to use to tame my flyaways is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I don't actually use this in my brows because I find it's a little bit too much for my brows. I like my brows to be a little bit more natural and pliable and movable and all of those things. But for these flyaways, they're very, very stubborn. And this has been the absolute best tool. And this like little hack was actually introduced to me by a makeup artist that I met when I was in Toronto. Anyway, that's a whole long separate story. So I'm going to apply some, and if you ever need a little flyaway touch up, maybe when you're out, this is the perfect thing to kind of keep in your bag or your car or whatever. But yeah, it just does such a good job. And I think part of it is because if you notice on the spoolie, I hope you can see that, it's not a very dense, tight spoolie. I feel like I've tried this trick with other clear brow gels and it just doesn't work because the spoolie is really dense. So it just like grabs onto too much hair and then I have to pull it all the way through and then I end up getting gel all the way down my hair. Not what I'm looking for. This doesn't actually grab on too much. So I can just, as you could see, like just pat it onto a few of these hairs and it just works like a dream. So I've got this one, I have another one, and I have 4 backups here, and I think I have one in my makeup bag. I think I have one in a purse. I think by far this is my most repurchased makeup product. Every single time, and this happens a lot, like Ulta's having one of those, 21 days of beauty, and they basically have like buy one, get one free situation. And then Sephora matches it. Anyway, I always take advantage of those deals. And so I end up with a lot of these. Anyway, I think by far that is my most repurchased makeup product. The next one is, you guessed it, the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. So I wear shade 2N. I have this one. I have this one. This is newly reformulated from when it first came out. I had the original one. I think I probably purchased 2 of those. And I know I have a 1.5N somewhere. I don't know where that is, but this is by far my most repurchased concealer. And you guys know, I wear this as concealer. I wear this with foundation alone, all the things. I love, love, love this concealer. This appeared in my all-time favorites. And I was really, really nervous when they reformulated it, which they seem to be doing. They're trying to add more naturally derived ingredients in their products. And sometimes it doesn't work out so well, but Dior has been doing a pretty decent job, I think, reformulating all of their products. And this, I really could not tell the difference, at least formula-wise. I could not tell the difference. It went on the same, it wore the same. I just find it to be a really incredibly versatile concealer because I find a lot of concealers I can use around my eyes, but not really on my face or vice versa. But this, I feel very comfortable using around my eyes, on my face, to cover spots, to wear alone with foundation, blah, blah, blah. So that is another most repurchased product of mine. And this next product is actually the product that gave me the idea to make this video because I had decluttered this product because I had it in my collection for a really long time. I decluttered it and I missed it so much and I couldn't find anything that I liked as much as it. So I went out and I purchased it again. This is the Kogen Do Natural Lighting Powder. This is my favorite loose powder. And as I keep talking about, I'm kind of testing out and exploring and discovering and researching talc-free powders, because this does have talc in there. And many of you I know have commented that you don't like to use talc, and it's not necessarily the talc itself that is the problem. It's how it's mined, and it could be contaminated with asbestos, et cetera, et cetera. So I understand your concern, but this is my favorite loose powder. I have it all over my face today, over the Dior concealer, and it just leaves my skin looking really soft and satiny, not dry at all, which a lot of loose powders do. Just leaves my very dry skin. We're starting there. So adding powder on top is a bit of a gamble. So I'm really picky about my loose powder, and this one is absolutely impeccable. This is, I believe, just my second tub. I mean, there's so much loose powder when you buy a whole tub, but I think this is my second, if not maybe my third, but I think this is my second tub of this powder, and I love it. Oh, another concealer I wanted to mention that I have repurchased at least another tube. I think this is actually my third tube, is the Chanel Longwear concealer. And this almost made it to my top 3 makeup products in every category. That video, this is number 4, or tied with third. But if you guys saw that video, you saw me sort of go through my mental gymnastics to try and figure out if this was gonna make the list. But anyway, I do love this concealer. It is so great. It's like the Goldilocks concealer. I think it has like medium coverage. I think it has a really nice texture that would work with oily skin or dry skin, and it works underneath my eyes. I don't like using this on my face. Not that it doesn't look okay and not that it doesn't wear well. I don't think it has enough coverage. It has a decent amount of coverage. This has, like, I would say medium kind of coverage, but the Dior has more, the Westman Atelier has more. So I like to use those on my face for, like, you know, spots and stuff. But this is really nice around my eyes if I'm just sort of evening out my complexion. But anyway, this is great. And I use shade 20 Beige. And I think what I like the most about this formula is that it has like a gel base to it. And so it has a really interesting sort of slip to it. So it just blends out really nicely, and it sets down nicely, and it just feels great on the skin. So that is the Chanel Longwear Concealer. Now, this product is recently repurchased, but I did purchase it myself first, and then I did get it sent to me in PR, and that one was getting on in its years. And then I went out and I repurchased it myself. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, and I have gone on and on about this contour powder. The highlight's very nice too, but I really love the contour powder in here. And it's kind of like a rediscovered favorite of mine, because when this first came out, when I first purchased it a gazillion years ago, I loved it. And of course, my attention was diverted by all the other products that have come out. But I recently kind of returned to this, and I love it. I have it today on as just a very light contour. I think this is a great contour powder if you are new to contouring, if you don't like a very severe contour, if you want just sort of an everyday contour, I think this is perfect. The tone is great. If you have a similar skin tone to mine, the tone is really great. It's very neutral, cool leaning. Of course, it's a contour, but it's not too cool. The formula is really great. It's not overly pigmented, so it's not scary or intimidating, and it's just really easy to use. So when it comes to mascaras, I get a lot of mascaras sent to me, and while they do go bad like quickly, that's probably the one product that I feel like I have to just go through and throw away if it's been open for too long, etc., etc. You're applying it to your eyes, you really don't want to get an eye infection. So I do go through quite a bit of mascara, but I am sent a lot of mascara. So if I am going out and purchasing my own mascara, that really says a lot. And the Lancome Lash Idol mascara is one that I know I have repurchased in black quite a few times, especially during those like Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sales, the Beauty Insider event. I do tend to throw this in my basket, but they just recently came out with brown, and I ran out and I purchased it. And I remember when I got it, I opened it up and I put it, I have this little container here on my vanity with all of the mascaras that are open right now that I'm using. It's too much, but I was surprised that I didn't have a black one in there. And I remember the last time I kind of went through all of them and dumped all the old ones out, that I did have a black lashy doll in there. Anyway, this is such a great mascara. This did also appear in my top 3 video, but I find this to be like the Goldilocks. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. to be the Goldilocks of mascara because it does a little bit of lengthening, it does a little bit of separation, it does a little bit of like holding my curl. It really does a lot of what I like. It is slightly volumizing. I don't like really, really heavy, thick volumizing mascaras. They just end up looking very clumpy and they're very overwhelming for my very puny, sad, pathetic lashes. So I like ones with a little bit of a lighter touch that you can build up. And this is wonderful. And I do like the wand also. It has this kind of like banana shape. And the bristles, as you can see, not that long, plastic, and not very dense either. So it just sort of glides over my lashes really easily. Formula is really great. It's not too wet. I don't like a really wet mascara. I just feel like I'm gonna make a mess. It's gonna get everywhere. So this has a really nice kind of like glide to it. It's not too sticky and it's not too wet. So anyway, that's the Lancome Lash Idole Mascara. So this next product is a recent repurchase. And if you watched my New York City vlog, I got this at Blue Mercury because they're having some 20% off deal. This is the Sisley lip liner and I have it in the shade Beige Naturel. It's number 2. And it's not the lightest shade, it's close though. They have a shade that's actually called Nude. It's a little bit lighter, but it's a little bit peachier. So I have this on my lips today. I do have a lip gloss over it, which we'll get to, but I do have it on my lips today. It's slightly warmer than a lot of the Makeup Forever lip liners that I've been using lately. It's slightly warmer than that, and I do hope they come out with like a little bit of a cooler tone. I just think for like contouring purposes, a little bit of a cooler tone is better, but this is great for most of my lip products. You guys know I generally wear like nude lipsticks, and the formula is what is so standout about this lip liner. It is easy to put on, it doesn't drag, and it just stays put and you feel absolutely nothing. It's not drying at all. And even with some of my other favorite lip liners like Natasha Denona, that lip liner has a heavier feel to it. I love the shades and I like that that one glides on really easily. I think that one has more of like a gel base. This is one of those like kind of standard sharpen wood barrel kind of pencils, but it has a little bit more glide and slip than the Makeup Forever pencils. The Makeup Forever pencils they're not dry at all, but they're just a little bit drier feeling than this one. But this, it just goes on beautifully. It works beautifully. It stays put and you just don't feel it. You don't feel it at all. And if you guys have seen my declutters, you know how many lip liners I have. So for me to run out and purchase a lip liner, you know it's gonna be good. All right, this next product, I believe one of these shades is discontinued. I think it was limited edition. And they came out together, so I'm not sure about the other shade, although I see the other shade around more often. And I'm talking about the Chanel Rouge Coco Balm in these two shades, Keep Cool and Chilling Pink. Here, let me show you these two shades. So I purchased these when they came out, and I was actually a little bit skeptical of whether or not I was gonna like these because I had purchased the balm that came out, you know, with the season previous to this. Anyway, and I didn't feel like that balm was actually very nourishing at all. It was actually kind of dry and it like dragged when I applied it. I was like, what's going on? So anyway, I purchased these because I liked the shades, and boy, oh boy, did I just fall in love with not only the shades, but the formula. So these both are very, very balmy, and I'll swatch them, but I don't know if you can see much because they're balms and there's not much going on. Okay, so Keep Cool is this one, and then Chilling Pink is that one. I think you can see a slight reflect. Anyway, they're very subtle. They're a tinted balm, but I fell in love with these so much that I ran out and I purchased another one of each. Now, I wasn't sure if they were limited edition. I think maybe they were labeled as such, but like I said, I think the Chilling Pink is still around. So I just wanted to mention them because if you've had bad luck with these balms in the past, like I did, I think you would like this formula. They're just much more moisturizing. And I feel like these have been touch and go because I'm pretty sure I purchased a balm many, many years ago and it was great. Anyway, the formula of these two shades, great. And I just purchased one of the peach ones from the latest spring collection. That formula is great as well. I think it's called Honey Peach, and I'm trying to talk myself out of buying a backup of that. I'm not sure if that one is limited edition, but I really, really like that shade. Actually, let me get that. Okay, the shade is, I'm sorry, Honey Bliss. The number is 752. And Look at that. It has little gold flecks in there. And oh yeah, this you can see a little bit better. So there's Honey Bliss, there's Keep Cool, and there's Chilling Pink. Yeah, I'm really tempted to get a backup of this. Oh, and did they change the packaging? Oh my God, I am so slow on the uptake sometimes. So it looks like they've added this top to it, which is clear. And then these are the old ones, which are just kind of a solid white. I don't really care. I don't really have a preference. And this is similar to the Rouge Coco Flash, right? Anyway, I felt like I had to repurchase the Chilling Pink and the Keep It Cool because these are probably my favorite tinted balm shades from Chanel. And I had to purchase them and I liked the formula. The Armani Prisma Glass Lip Gloss. Boy, oh boy, who knew that I was gonna love this so much? So this is shade Nude Glow. And I'm only about halfway down. I don't know if you can see. I'm only about halfway down with this gloss, so it's probably gonna last me a while. However, I was sick and tired of getting it from my purse and walking it over to where I film or bringing it upstairs or transferring it from purse to purse. I was just sick of only having one basically, so I went out and bought another one. So I now have two of these and I'm happy that I do because one does stay in this room here and one is like my travel one. So the formula of this, it's just a straight up gloss. It doesn't have like an oiliness to it. It's not super sticky. There's no fragrance. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, simple gloss. I love these makeup products that are like have no gimmick whatsoever. They're just really, really good. Look at that shade. Is that not gorgeous? There's a ton of different shades. I have quite a few of them. This is the only one that I've repurchased because it's the one that I wear the most. But it is beautiful by itself with lip liner, over lipstick. Yeah, it just wears beautifully. It's a gloss, so it's not gonna last like all day, but it wears really beautifully. It doesn't like mysteriously dry out my lips or make my lips flake, which some glosses do. It's just a wonderful formula, a beautiful shade, and I love it. And I'm glad to have two now. As for the lip gloss that is on my lips, you guys guessed it, it is the Chanel Rouge Coco gloss in 804 Rose Naif. This is like my all-time favorite lip gloss. This is in my top 3, yada, yada, yada. I've been going on and on and on about this gloss for probably a decade at this point. This is probably my fourth. Let's say third. This is my third tube of this. I'm just ecstatic that they haven't gotten rid of this gloss, that they haven't discontinued this shade. It's still around. You can still purchase it at Ulta, anywhere they sell Chanel. They still have this shade. Thank goodness. But this lip gloss, if you guys have not heard me talk about this, which means you probably have not seen any of my other videos, but if you have not heard me talk about this gloss before, this gloss makes my lips look so plump. This has shine. It's a gloss, but it's not super high shine. It's not like an ultra high shine, which I don't like. I don't like that wet shine lip gloss. It just makes me look like I'm drooling. So I like this kind of reflect, but a little bit dulled down. This shade is barely there. Like barely there. So on top of my lips, and I have this over bare lips just with the Sisley lip liner, you can barely see it. I think the dull down shine actually helps. And I think it kind of plumps up my lips without any like menthol or anything like that. There's nothing like that in there. There's no fragrance. There's no taste to this lip gloss. It's so good. There isn't even any like sparkly bits in there. There's just no other lip gloss out there that makes my lips look this plump, and I can't even verbalize why. It just is. It just is. So this is a highly repurchased makeup product for me. And you guys have heard me go on and on about Surratt eyeshadows or Surratt blushes, basically anything that is made in that slurry process. And I have been a fan of Surratt products for so many years. And in fact, it was one of the first like makeup products that I got into when I started wearing makeup again, when I started my YouTube channel. I really loved the packaging and I loved the like Japanese aesthetic. Anyway, I'm telling you all this because I had eyeshadows from way back then. I think they were 8 years old. How long have I been on YouTube? Like 8 years old. And fairly recently I went to go use my Surratt eyeshadows and I was like, these are definitely like not performing the way I remember. The pigmentation was a little bit off. They were looking a little bit patchy. And when I calculated in my head how old they were, I was like, oh, well, of course, they're like 8 years old. So I went and repurchased a whole bunch, and they've since changed like the color range. The formula is still the same, but the color range is a little bit different. So I had shades that were discontinued. Anyway, I kind of cleared out my Surratt collection and purchased what they had in stock. So these two are shades that I kept because they didn't have them in stock, and I really like these shades, and more like to remind me that I need to get them when they get back into stock. But this is how much I love Surratt eyeshadows. I have a little bit of the, I think this is Truff. Let me see what shade this is. Yeah, this is Truff. I have a little bit of this dark brown shade on, just like along my lash line here. And I have a little bit of this shade on as well, in addition to the Chanel Bruntapa. I feel like the Chanel Bruntapa, while we're on the topic, may end up being a repurchased product. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like I'm getting down into this pan. I'm making quite the divot, but you know, it takes forever to use up an eyeshadow. But I just love, love, love the Surratt powder. You can see my blush collection there. The Surratt powder products, because of that slurry process that they use in creating these. They're baked basically. So when you apply any of these products, they're artistic products, they go on like a powder, but then they kind of melt onto your skin and they just sort of like diffuse out by themselves. They're incredible, absolutely incredible. So anyway, I went and like redid my Surratt eyeshadow collection. That's how much I love them. And last but not least, I actually glossed over this, I should have mentioned this earlier, is the Dior Onset Brow Gel. So I've got this one open. This is the one that I used in my brows today. I have this backup in the shade black, and I most definitely had one previously that I used up and tossed away. So this is definitely a most repurchased product of mine. This is my favorite brow gel or brow product, hands down. I can't stop talking about it. I used to love the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel. I swear I will shut up about it one of these days. But that has been, I don't know, discontinued, or they're having production issues. I have no idea. But I really, really love this Dior Onset Brow Gel in its stead because it has a very similar wand. It has a very similar texture. I would say if there's any difference between this and the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel is the Tom Ford, the actual gel was a little bit thicker. It was a little bit tackier, a little bit more intense. This one is a little bit more natural. I mean, you can build it up, you know, you can just keep swiping it on, but right out of the tube, the Dior one is a little bit less intense than the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, but it does a great job kind of, you know, taming my brows. It's not crunchy at all. The pigmentation is great. So I do like the brown. Is that what it is? It's either dark brown or just plain old brown. It's number 32. I do like that shade. I did also pick up the black in case I wanted something just a little bit cooler toned, but as you can tell, this brown is not especially warm. I just don't like browns that have too much like red or orange in there. It just doesn't look right with my complexion. And this has like little fibers in there, so it helps like plump up your brows, which is perfect for me because I have long brow hairs that are sparse. So this is an amazing, amazing brow gel. So that is it for this video. Let me know if you would like me to do this video for other beauty products like skincare. Let me know down below in the comment section. And also let me know what some of your most repurchased products are. I would love to hear from you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.